Gang Spitter. Y'all subscribe, like, share the video. I was checking out Gillie the Kid going back and forth with Cam Newton. They arguing over Jalen Hurts, and you know, Gillie said what he said about Cam. He ain't no Super Bowl winner. Right. And he'll never be a Jalen Hurts. Right, sure you're right. Cam Newton, he responded saying, Gillie a nobody in the rap game. Right. And we don't know nothing about your albums and shit like that. And then Gillie responded, got a little bit more disrespectful, saying how he a little dog in the podcast space. He a little dog, and he interviewed somebody that's a nobody, and Cam Newton corny and all that stuff. See, this is what Gillie just be talking. Like, dude just be talking. Like, how you gonna say Cam Newton interviewed a nobody that came on your show talking about Deion, Nicki Minaj, this one, that one, when your whole career, when you did interviews, all you did was talk about Lil Wayne, Birdman, this one and that one, DJ Khaled. That's all you talk about. Wayne, Birdman, into that $1 million worth of game, even when that took off. That's why Wallow started yelling and going crazy, saying, man, I'm tired of you talking about Birdman. I think he did that show when y'all did that show with Whack 100. When y'all did that show with, it was either with Whack 100 or it was another podcast. But yeah, man, like, you was doing the same thing Charleston did. Now, you weren't that disrespectful, but that's what people know you for, because we don't know you for none of your songs. Philly and up north know you for that, yeah, that's us. I know you for, yeah, that's us, major figures and all that shit there. But somebody up and coming, like, that was born in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, man, they don't know you for no, yeah, that's us and your records. They know you for talking about Lil Wayne, saying you wrote his records and shit like that. And yeah, so you that same type of dude. And then how you gonna say Charleston a nobody when Charleston White interview alone with Cam Newton is bigger than any interview $1 million worth of game ever did? $1 million worth of game ain't got no interview with over 8 million views. The biggest one they got is the one with Lil Durk. That's at 7 million. The other one is the one with Kevin Gates. That's at like 4 something million. Yeah, the one he did with King Von, that's up there 2 or 3 million, somewhere around there. I think it's either, yeah, it's up there. But nowhere near 11 million. But these dudes got big fan bases. Kevin Gates, Lil Durk, King Von, everybody else you done had. But somebody that you saying a nobody, you can't even outdo, like, get it. Let's not get it twisted. On a one-on-one, you really think you more of a factor on the internet than Charleston White? I promise you, on a solo tip, if you did 10 interviews, and we go on the biggest platforms that YouTube got to offer, you do 10 interviews, Charleston do 10 interviews. I guarantee you, on no level, you can outdo Charleston. I'm just being honest. Like, if we talking about giving game, you can't outdo Charleston. If we talking about being funny, you can't outdo Charleston. Now, on sports, you got him. Talking about sports, you'll beat him on that. But anything else, entertaining the audience or making them be like, damn, that's some real shit. Gillie, you not that type of guy. I know your show $1 million worth of game, but Charleston make good points. Don't no rapper take y'all, what y'all be saying, telling niggas to do, they don't listen to y'all. Because they don't look at Wallow like that. They're not going to listen to him. They'll hear him when he talking, and they respect him and fuck with him. But they don't. Wallow can't make no nigga get about the streets and change and put down that shit he told Kodak ain't going to work. The shit he told King Von, Wallow not stronger than Satan. So once Satan grab a hold of their neck and take control over their whole life, ain't nothing Wallow can do. Ain't nothing Allah can do. Yeah, it's too late. They too deep in. You understand that, right? So, and I'ma always say this. You can't never underestimate a guy, right? You can't never just say a nigga P-U-S-S-Y until you play with a man family. Once you play with a man family and a nigga get stepped on, crushed, you lose a son, you lose a wife or whatever, and he's saying he a gangster and he was a tough guy, he this and that, and we don't really see no action. Cause nigga played with Gillie the Kid's son when they was alive, and him when they was alive, and when Cheese lost his life. So what I mean by when they was alive, see, Gillie be picking and choosing. When you got robbed, when Gillie and them got robbed out there in LA by Big U and them, he didn't apply no pressure. They laid you, your sons, down on the ground and took everything. You didn't apply no pressure. So that's why you can that's when you can call a man P-U-S-S-Y, or you can say, if not that, you can say he ain't like that. He pick and choose. You a diss Charleston, but what about the Crips that lined you up? What about Big U? Or you will still try to make peace because you still got to come to LA. The Beanie Siegel situation. Birdman, why would Birdman and them lie? They said they seen, not heard, they seen Beanie Siegel and them do you like that, and you had a fire on you. You had a fire on you. Don't get it twisted. We seen Gillie the Kid go to Cassidy Hood and you know, popping all that shit like that. But he know who to play with. He wouldn't have done AR Ab and them like that. I guarantee you Gillie wouldn't be here. If he was still here, it'd have been, he got shot 10 times, 5 times. He'd have been through a lot of gun battles. I'm just saying. If Gillie would have went to OBH block and did that to a real top tier OBH dude or another crew in Philly that's really about gunplay, he wouldn't have done them like that. We ain't seen Gillie hold no real monsters, like out gangster them. We ain't seen Gillie out gangster no real monster. We ain't heard no stories of Gillie out gangster a real monster. So don't come talk that motherfucker shit to me. He'll pick and choose, but tough guy, he'll get tough with. But a nigga that'll really kill him or really bring gunfire to his way, yeah, he can drop a bag. He got enough money to drop a bag. But he really not the type of person really to take a nigga to war. So, I mean, of course somebody like Charleston would talk to you like that because he didn't see you get played with your kid. You done heard the stories about you. And yeah, Gillie probably can fight. Yeah, good basketball player. Yeah, he funny. Yeah, he real to a couple niggas. You know what I'm saying? He really, but he talking like he just big dog and everybody under him. Cam Newton got 1 million+ followers too, just like you. Don't act like me and La Ref a Game every episode that they drop. It just go millions and millions of views. It ain't like Shannon Sharp. $1 Million Worth of Game that took a hit. $1 Million Worth of Game was way better when Tony the Closer and when they had more hosts. It was Tony the Closer at one point. It was the Don't Call Me White Girl. It was what was the other dude? The other dude with the bald head. That's when $1 Million Worth of Game was way better to me. When they went and started interviewing all these artists, and that's when it kind of started going down. They keep going to everybody's hood. Nigga, stay in the studio because you get a better interview. When you being around, when you keep going to everybody's hood and you outside, you're not really getting the best interview because people got to look over their shoulder. They looking at this, they can't really 100% focus. Like, I don't like them type of interviews like that all the time. Nigga, do this shit in the house. You know what I'm saying? But they got their bag though, so of course, you know, they doing what they doing. But, you know, Gillie get to talking, he get too cocky with his shit. Like, he acting like he do the biggest numbers, or he been flawless with not getting touched, not being a victim. Bruh, you wasn't no big dog as an artist. You could let them Philly niggas and up north niggas lie to you, but down south, we ain't. We never bumped your shit. We never, we don't know none of your albums. We don't know none of your songs. Nah. You can say, yeah, Jay-Z blackballed you. because you ain't never want to get your rights up. You should have. Because I'd rather have a catalog like Drake, like Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, any artists who gave, they masters up. They made a big career out of their situation. They made a big catalog. A Meek Mill. Okay, y'all answer this. Meek Mill was only getting 13%, right? But as an artist, would you rather get the 13% and have the catalog and get what you get what Meek Mill get per show, per verse, per walkthrough, whatever else he get? They got to pay him for him to be in the building or whatever. Would you rather have that lifestyle and that career, or get it the kid who had 100% of his music, his masters, his publishing, but never made no songs that we cared about, never made no big impact in hip hop? All you got is you wrote a lyric for Lil Wayne and Lil Wayne dissed you, and you redid that Cannon song and you dissed him back, and you held on to that till Wallow got out of jail doing this 20-year sentence, and then you went crazy on podcasts. Because you can have that big career that Meek Mill had and still go crazy in podcasts. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at Fat Joe Jada. Look at Cameron and Mace. They had an amazing career. And they still getting the big bag in podcasts. So they been having M's. Get it the kid, that wasn't the case for him. The podcast money, his first time really getting M's. He'd get checks like, when he was in rap and he was doing little deals and shit like that, he'd get like 200,000. 300,000, 175,000, the shit like that. But then you got to play catch up. You got to buy jewelry. You got to buy, you know what I'm saying, to make it seem like you doing this, but you really ain't, But would you rather have 100% of nothing or 13% of what Meek Mill getting a show? 6 figures to go on tour? You gonna give him 90,000, 100,000, 150,000, 120,000. Drake don't own his catalog, but look what he getting the show. He getting $1 million a show. Look at the lifestyle. So sometimes it's better to, depending on what they got lined up for you, depending on what type of hits you can make. So sometimes it ain't always good to be 100% independent. Don't never say you're publishing. Don't never do it. Sometimes it ain't. Sometimes you can, split that shit or give it away, and you can become a superstar, and you can make money in other fields. You can meet people and get into certain investments because you done met this motherfucker, because you're in this room, you're in this door. You can't say you ain't down with the Illuminati or the elite shit because you still doing shit with the podcast. They say you still, your name kind of floating around that shit. Because Wallow keep asking everybody, have they ever had a visitor and have they met this person, and like the elite shit. Like, you ever had somebody come talk to you and you'll realize, you'll see somebody that don't supposed to be at the top and they really ain't that good, but somehow you see them up there, you get a visitor. Y'all done had a visitor too. So yeah, come on, man. You took 100% of nothing. You didn't never make your mark in the industry. Everybody just know your name because the DVD game helped you. You always talking about Lil Wayne. That was the best thing that ever happened to Gillie the Kid, really, was when he fell out with Lil Wayne. When Lil Wayne wrote that line about you, you ate off that for 15 years, 20 years, however long, until May Not Worth a Game took off. Gillie never really built a big enough fan base to, even though the labels, or he getting blackballed, he get blocked this way. The fans ain't you never built that fan base to still save you, that'll make you keep putting out music, that'll make promoters keep calling you. This is why he was at home all the time going live, because he never built that catalog. So you could have did a 360 and built a catalog with Cash Money, did a 360, and built a catalog with Rockefeller, and you still could be performing these songs. Until you did the Million Dollar Game, you still could have been performing them songs and getting a bag. But you didn't. But it didn't mean nothing that you didn't. You just never signed a deal. But you also never made history either. You never made us. You can't keep claiming, yeah, that's us, when it was a whole bunch of y'all on the song. That's not your record. And it's only a legendary record up north. Down south, we never played that. Red Atlanta nigga never played, yeah, that's us. Yeah, that's Red North Carolina, South Carolina. real, yeah, New Orleans, real Houston, Texas, Tennessee, Memphis, Nashville, yeah, Alabama, Little Rock, Arkansas, real, yeah, Florida, real Virginia. Yeah, we ain't played them. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, that's yeah, we never play that. Yeah, that shit up north, that area, that way. We ain't never on the West Coast. That shit ain't never. Because if that was the case, y'all still be performing them songs. They'll put y'all on tour with the, when all the 2000 Ying Yang Twins and Lil Jon and Pastor Troy, when they go on tour, when they put everybody together, French Eye Boy, D4L, Jagged Edge, they may throw like Ja Rule, Eve, 112, Jagged Edge, you know what I'm saying? Chingy, Lil Scrappy. Why they ain't throwing y'all up in there? Is it just one song? Is it, but I don't know. Even right now, like, they'll be booking Freeway. Just how you know, Freeway made a more legendary song. His song legendary. His song wasn't for now. It seemed like y'all song, yeah, that was for now. Back then, it wasn't no timeless record because y'all should still be getting booked to perform it. At least you get it. So you never made no song like that. So yeah, you had to come into the podcasting world because you never built that fan base. You never did. So that's why you had to spend all them years between that gap. You spent all them years talking about somebody just like Charleston. You the same person. You the same person. The only reason why you think Charleston, if he didn't go at Jews and white people and everybody like that, you think he couldn't get 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 million from a podcast deal? You think his mouth too filthy and he didn't, upset a lot of people, but I don't know why you think he couldn't get that same type of bag. He way more entertaining than y'all. Wallow or Gillie, solo together, if they did interviews on all the big platforms, would outdo Charleston. Because what Charleston, he can hit all levels. Y'all can't. Wallow only gonna talk about prison and a little bit of the music industry and this and that. He ain't gonna really give all his secrets like that. Because the type of game he giving only gonna help entrepreneurs and artists. The game that Charleston he give it from if you a kid battling mental illness, a trouble kid, gaming that, if you firing your job, if you trying to sue your job, all the steps it take to go sue your job, that field, the music industry, that field, comedy, that field, the laws, that field, safety, that field. Wallow and Gillie hitting all these components and really giving the game and still making you laugh at the same time. And you know what I'm saying? So it's only certain fields. Yeah, so man, you can try to discredit Charleston White all you want, but the numbers says differently. How you gonna talk about he had nobody, but his interview with Cam Newton bigger than any interview y'all ever did, and everybody who y'all interviewed got millions and millions of fans. And y'all, Lil Durk, 7 million, Charleston White, 11 million. And y'all did the Lil Durk interview a long time ago. The Charleston White interview wasn't that long ago like that. So yeah, man. Even when you was talking about Wayne and everybody on interviews, you still were putting up them type of numbers. So it got to be some truth to that. It got to be some truth to that. So yeah, he talked to you about your kid like that because you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You'll just wait till the universe do something. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. Because one thing about it, Gillie ain't ready to die or go to jail. So nigga feel like he could play with your kid like that. Nah, I wouldn't dish your kid like that. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? But nigga feel like he sized you up. We all know Gillie or Wallow not ready to die, kill, or go to jail. They ain't trying to do that. Life too good. Life too good for them. And so yeah, man, it is what it is. But like, nah, man, you can make your little jokes on Cam Newton, but we all see that me and I ref a game. People don't just rush home, and it was at one point, but we all see that me and I ref a game, then took a hit when it comes to views. People don't rush home and, man, we gotta go catch that me and I ref a game. It ain't got that same effect like it once had when everybody was tuned in. But y'all drop an interview, ain't nobody talking about the me and I ref a game interview like that, unless the person on the show say some wild stuff or some shit like that. Other than that, like, y'all fit along, yeah, but y'all already got the bag, so y'all won. Y'all already got the bag, and y'all renegotiated a new deal, so y'all won. Y'all ass, you do real good in that. Yeah. But Wallow is a big part of why y'all got a lot of money too, though. Now, Gillie made Wallow negotiate a little bit more, but Wallow is the reason why y'all get a lot of ads. Because Wallow know how to promote the ads way better. Wallow know how to talk in business meetings way better than Gillie do. Wallow can get in different doors than Gillie can, because Wallow is a more of a learner. Gillie, not so much. Gillie like to get high all day. And he loves sports and he do other stuff. And he got a wife. Wallow don't got a wife. Wallow don't got kids. So he don't got all the time that Gillie got to take to do all that there. Wallow don't have to do it. So Wallow can get in certain rooms that Gillie can't. Wallow's 100% sober. He more presentable. He got more knowledge. Yeah, so, but they're a team though. Their relationship is incredible. So we can't knock that either though. Definitely can't do that. But, Cam can have his own opinion about Jalen Hurts. He talk about sports. So if he feel like, just like how you feel Aaron Rodgers trash, or you feel like Aaron Rodgers ain't that guy, what's the difference if he feel like Jalen Hurts ain't this or that, or he only this good because he got all these weapons around him? So this is what he's saying, because you always diss Aaron Rodgers. If you put, you know how Tom Brady was winning all the Super Bowls when Aaron Rodgers was with Green Bay, and they'll go all the way to the NFC Championship or whatever, or deep in the playoffs and they'll lose. But if you would have gave Aaron Rodgers them same weapons as Tom Brady had when he was with New England or whatever team, or Patrick Mahomes or whatever, you saying Rodgers would have made them throws? You saying Rodgers would have made them lose the game? He would have had them same weapons, they would have won. They would have won more rings. So that does help a player. You don't have to play your best because you got the best around you. Now, you can't help that you got the best around you. So you still can be like, well, it ain't Jalen Hurts' fault that his team spend the most money, or they spend the right amount of money and they got the right players, and that's a dynasty over there. Same thing with the Bulls and shit like that. But we do understand what he mean when he say you don't got to be the best when you got the best around you. Like, you don't really got to go crazy on the field. Like, really, like, y'all win that game because of him. Like, a lot of times, Michael Vick at the Atlanta Falcons, they won them games because of Michael Vick. They didn't win rings, but they won a lot of games because of Michael Vick. He ran for that touchdown. He ran for that first down. He ran. And then, this is what Gillie contradicting himself again at. You'll get on Cam Newton about not having no rings, right? But then when he call you out, and we don't know none of your songs, so you ain't got no awards, you never been nominated for no awards, you ain't got no real playtime on a solo record or just your singles on the radio like that, you ain't never made no big song, you ain't never sold no records, you ain't never been a factor in hip hop. Cam Newton was a factor in the NFL. You never been a factor at all in the hip hop industry, right? So he can't talk about that. You ain't gotta have no albums or no achievements or none of that there. You telling Cam Newton he ain't never won no Super Bowl and shit like that, right? But you ain't saying he ain't never won no games. You ain't never said he ain't won no playoff games. With you though, when it comes to being an artist, you ain't never won no games. You never did nothing amazing solo, meaning you never even got nominated. So if the music industry was the playoff, like NFL, you never even got nominated for no awards. So you never even won no game. You never even won no playoff games or nothing. So why he can't bring that up? Well, you ain't never did nothing that's legendary in the hip hop industry. And the shit that you most known for, a lot of people don't even believe you did that. Because Birdman saying you lying. Everybody in Cash Money saying you lying. They said you didn't write for Wayne, but you saying you did. Now, we did see you around a Carter, and we did see Wayne wearing your jewelry. So you probably did let him borrow some money, let him wear the jewelry. We see that, but most people still don't believe you. Can't nobody say they can't believe in Cam Newton's situation. It can't be nobody to say, we ain't never seen you win no playoff game, or doubt that, or win a lot of football games. You can't say that. With you, where's your achievements at as an artist? So if you want to shame him for being an NFL player, why he can't shame you for being a fair rapper that most people in America can't name your albums? Most people in America can't name, we talking about urban, but we could do the whole country though, but black people, they can't name 10 or 5 Gillie the Kid songs, especially females. So if you want to talk about him and then pick on what he wear and go crazy on him, he can't speak on your situation. And you the same guy now, you can't say Cam Newton got slapped by a nigga or swung on and he had a blick on him and he ain't pull out or he ain't get aggressive. In your situation, we got Birdman and New Orleans niggas saying, they saying you get handled and you had a fight on you. And niggas was in your city, they was a guest coming behind you, trying to let you be the big dog and you embarrass them. Cam can really go low. Can we say, Cam, we done seen Cam, if he got kids, I don't know if he got kids or not. We ain't seen Cam get laid out on the ground, nigga robbing him and his kid, because he got lined up, then be cool with the dudes that line to play up. But yeah, man, I ain't gotta really keep going in on this shit though. It is what it is though. Gillie said what he said, Cam said what he said, Charleston White said what he said. Charleston don't need no interview from Gillie. He don't need no favors, no handouts, no nothing from Gillie or Wallow. So, of course, he can disrespect him to the fullest. And then, everybody will say, Charleston, but you already apologized for dissing his son. How you gonna diss him again? Bro, he ain't mean that shit when he apologized. He just did that because he was on this person's show and it just fit with the, you know how many times dudes apologize and they don't really mean it? You think in a courtroom when a nigga really did knock down somebody's son or daughter or mama or daddy or whoever, uncle, brother, whoever, grandma, and then the suspect apologized, the killer, he apologized to the family. You think all of them mean that when they say I'm sorry? Or is they saying that so the judge can give him some time, cut off? Or he can get a better sentence? Or do he really, do 100% of guys who say, I'm sorry for me doing what I did, do they really mean that 100%? Or do half of them, or even more than half, just saying it because it's the right thing to say? They ain't got their time yet. So if the judge was gonna give him 30 years, if they say, I'm sorry the right way, maybe they'll give him 25 years. Anything can help. 20 years, anything can help. You don't want to seem too cold-blooded. And a lawyer, they'll recommend that. Even when the killer write letters to the family, they don't mean, they be trying to get out for parole and shit like that. They're trying to get approved so they can get out. They don't really mean that 100% of the time. Now, some of them do. But just because somebody say sorry, how many times niggas done cheated and said sorry to their girl and they cheat again? Or females cheat on their dude, they say sorry, they cheat again. So yeah, man, like, but it is what it is. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Y'all share the video. Y'all let it be known, man. Y'all follow me on IG, _gang_spitter. Y'all donate to the channel, $the gang spitter 704. He was with him. Gone.